Welcome. I'm Madeline DiNono, President and CEO of the Institute. With me is our esteemed ASL interpreters, Gabe Gomez and Cass Destilo. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that I am currently on the traditional lands of the Chumash peoples. I want to recognize that we are all connected with one another and that the ground beneath my feet is historically the home of Indigenous peoples. We're so excited for the launch of Camp GoldieBlox and even more excited to be joined with our partners from GoldieBlox, Amy Poehler Smart Girls, and the Lyda Hill Foundation. So let's get going. I'm so excited to welcome our MC for today, the fabulous Corinne Joy. Corinne is super talented and does it all. She is an actor and known for her character Simone on the hit Brat TV series Chicken Girls. She is also a national dance champion and has a millions and millions of followers on TikTok, IG, and YouTube. Corinne, take it away.
Hi guys, thank you, Madeline. I am super thrilled to be here today. Like she said, I'm an actor, singer, dancer, and I'm really excited. So before we meet the cast, I want to introduce the woman responsible for the awesomeness that is GoldieBlox. Here to say a few words is the founder and CEO, Debbie Sterling.
Thank you so much, Corinne and Madeline. I am thrilled to be here today. First and foremost, I want to thank Lyda Hill and the entire team at If Then and Lyda Hill Philanthropies for making all of this possible. So nearly 10 years ago today, I founded my company GoldieBlox because I was bothered that I was one of very few women in my engineering classes at Stanford. And when I started to research why so few girls go into STEM, I realized that from a young age, girls are really at a disadvantage because a lot of the media that they watch and the toys that they play with propagate stereotypes that building and engineering is for boys and dolls and princesses are for girls. I believe that the shows and characters we watch as kids influence our identities, our personalities, help us think about what we might want to be when we grow up. And the toys and activities that we play with as kids are so important because they build our skills, our interests, and they can help make learning fun and exciting. And so Camp GoldieBlox does all of that and more. I'm so proud of what we've created with our producing partner, Amy Poehler Smart Girls. Together, we've really poured our hearts and souls into this project, down to every last little detail, from puppeteering to making teeny tiny miniature worlds, to having dance parties, to the awesome cast and crew, Kiarra, Jia, and Malachai. It's been a joy to work with everyone on this project. And I want to just say why this project is so important. It's because we're really allowing kids from all different backgrounds to see themselves in STEM by sharing the amazing stories of an incredibly diverse group of female STEM trailblazers, the AAAS If Then ambassadors, of which I myself am so honored and proud to be one of. And in addition to this great content series, with every campisode, we have fun STEM activities so that when everyone watches and gets inspired, then they can go and experiment hands-on to just see how fun and empowering it is when you use STEM to build and create things. And we're gonna do that today, where we'll see that STEM is in everything, even fidget toys, which our polymer scientist, Paula Garcia Todd, is going to explain. And so now, I am so honored to introduce our next speaker, who really needs no introduction. She is a two-time Oscar winner, the founder and chair of the Gina Davis Institute on Gender and Media. She's in a league all her own. Please welcome Gina Davis.
Hi, everybody. Hi, it's so great to see you. Thank you so much for that fabulous introduction. I want to thank you all for joining us today. And I also want to give a quick shout out to our partners, Lyda Hill, the Lyda Hill Foundation, GoldieBlox, and Amy Poehler Smart Girls. The work that you all do on a day-to-day basis is so important and inspiring. And we are so honored to have you ask us to be included in today's event. At my institute, we have conducted numerous studies over the years showing that diverse and high quality portrayals of women and girls are quite simply missing from children's media. And this has a real impact on young viewers' ideas about themselves and about the occupations that they will pursue. Now, we know that only 1/4 of scientists and engineers in the United States are female. And increasing the positive portrayals of women and girls in STEM would have a tremendous impact, yield a great result, and it's easy to do. There are concrete steps that those of us within the entertainment industry can take to encourage more girls and women to pursue jobs in this important sector, raising up all of those with the potential to become our future STEM visionaries and innovators. And this is why we are so thrilled to be here today for the launch of Camp GoldieBlox, Adventures at Eureka Point. In just a minute, you're going to meet the cast and hear all about the show, how they're using STEM and the help of real life STEM trailblazers to solve their problems and what they love most about working on the show. And I can't wait to make fidget toys later with all of you. Madeline, I'll hand it back to you.
Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, Gina. Corinne, over to you. Take it away.
Yes, thank you so much, Gina and Debbie. Now let's get into it. The reason why we're all here today, Camp GoldieBlox, Adventures at Eureka Point. Now, I know you all have had an opportunity to watch the first episode, so let's meet the people behind the show. Please welcome the cast, Jia Patel, Kiarra Beasley, and Malachai Crockett. Also joining us today is one of the STEM trailblazers featured on the show, Paula Garcia Todd. Paula is a polymer chemist and a AAAS If Then ambassador, and we also have the show's co-director and producer, Maggie Chifo. Maggie is also the general manager of Amy Poehler's Smart Girls. Thank you everyone for being here today. So, Gia, let's start with you. What was the experience like making the show, and what would you say the most fun part of working on this project was?
So I would definitely say the best part of the experience was getting to work with Kiarra and Malachai. And I also love talking about all these cool engineering concepts that we got to actually film and make into a whole program. I myself am super interested in STEM and mechanical engineering. That's probably my top career choice. So I love being able to work with an amazing set of people making something that I'm super interested in. It was an awesome process, and my co-stars Kiarra and Malachai are the best people I could have ever asked to work with.
Awesome. Kiarra, what about you?
I think my favorite part would have to be all of the improv that we could do, because we were really just acting like how we would in the normal life. We were talking, we were mingling. Some of the scenes were just us like spitting out whatever came to mind, and it was so much fun. And also the fact that we got to learn new things. We got to learn about the STEM projects that we were doing in the show, and Malachai and Gia and I, we just had so much fun together.
That sounds so fun. And last but not least, Malachai.
I would like to say it was an interesting experience, and doing things on green screen will obviously open up your eyes, and talking to them and them helping me learn about what it's like being on set and just having friends there, it's so much better, and I love it. Being on a cast with them is probably the best thing that's ever happened.
Awesome. So going over to Maggie. Maggie, can you tell us a little bit about the origin of the project and the production process?
Yeah, well, first, I think my favorite part was working with Malachai, Kiarra, and Gia as well. You guys are some of the most talented young people I've ever had the opportunity to work with, and elevated the project enormously with your humor and your improv and your just go get it attitude. And we're just so thrilled with all of you. So just a huge thank you, first of all. And as far as the origin of the project, Debbie and I have known each other for several years, and Amy Poehler Smart Girls and GoldieBlox have a lot of the same mission at heart. And we thought, two missions at heart are better than one. So let's come together and create something that's really meaningful and has a lot of utility for kids, with the mind of STEM education equity first. We really want everyone to be able to see themselves in these careers. And that starts with using your own lived experience to identify yourself as already somebody who's doing STEM. So for example, we'll do this fidget activity a little bit later, and there's already STEM in that. So if you are already, so much of what we're already doing in our lives, we don't recognize as as using STEM. And we really want to make sure that all people, all kids feel like that's an opportunity available to them. And almost to the person of all of the ambassadors that we interviewed had said that at some point in their education process, somebody had told them either they weren't good enough or they weren't, the best, or they weren't pursuing it in the right way and that they should quit. And I personally have a very similar experience from a chemistry class in high school. We don't have to go into that here, but have a really strong passion around making sure that everybody sees themselves having a place, and that you don't have to be quote unquote the best. You don't have to be excellent at everything. You have to find your passion, and we really need everybody's brain to solve the world's greatest problems. Otherwise we won't solve them. So that's really where we wanted to work at a starting point to get people encouraged and do it in a fun way.
Wow, that was really well said. Passing it over to Paula. What was the most fun part of working with the show for you?
I would say the funnest part was actually seeing all these organizations come together and put together such a cool project that could reach so many young people. And I love the fact that they were actually very fact-based, right? They wanted to make sure that all the STEM concepts, they were factual and they made a lot of sense. And we were able to put it in a way that's very accessible to young students. So it was a load of fun, and I'm so thankful that I was a part of it.
Awesome. Gia, let's go back to you. How would you say you and your character are most unlike or alike your character?
So first of all, I'd say we're very much alike because my character is super adventurous and she loves doing random things, but she also tells a lot of terrible jokes, which I relate to. Personally, I think they're funny, but nobody else really seems to think so. I think in terms of not being like, I would say she can be a little bit extravagant at times. And even though I tend to be a little bit more practical, I make some like impulsive decisions, but she's super out there. Sort of a mad scientist almost, but I still love my character.
Awesome. Kiarra, what about you?
I feel like I'm most alike my character because she was almost like trying to help everyone out. Like she was trying to make sure no one was getting hurt, and she was really just using her brain to think things through while also still being like, okay, I guess you can do this thing if you want, just be careful about it. Like you can have some freedom, but use it wisely. She was almost like an older sister. Like she just wanted to make sure everyone was okay. And I feel like we're the most unalike because of how really cautious she was. And I'm more out there. I want to go and do stuff and like explore and jump around.
I definitely love to explore and jump around as well. So last but not least, Malachai.
I have to stay in the middle because I'm not really a scaredy cat, but it really depends because if I was on a roller coaster or something like that, of course I'm really scared, but I'm not really scared of the dark.
All right. Awesome. Maggie, why do you think content like this is so important?
Well, I think content like this is so important. I alluded to it a little bit earlier, but because we really do need to be able to see ourselves reflected on screen, no matter who you are, and any way that we can help do that in a fun and engaging way, where we're reaching kids where they're at already, and bring them in there is something that's important. And also, there is a huge equity in education gap in the United States, and to be able to offer something that's free, is being made with NGSS standards, is being showing an incredible diversity of STEM professionals, and people being able to supplement and get more of that content where they might not necessarily be getting it in a formal education setting, was incredibly important for us in terms of how we thought about making this content.
Amazing. Paula, can you talk about your role in this project as how that connects to your broader work as a AAA's If Then ambassador?
Yes, I'd love to. So I guess a little background. So Lyda Hill Philanthropies initiated a movement with the AAAS If Then ambassadors, where they recruited 125 women from across the country, from very diverse backgrounds and STEM fields. And we serve as role models to middle school girls to show that if you can see it, then you can be it. So as ambassadors, we do a variety of activities. You can find us in the world's largest digital library of women in STEM at ifthencollection.org, completely free to schools and museums across the country. So you may even find some of us at a science museum near you. We do a ton of outreach, schools, clubs, organizations, interviews to encourage girls to pursue STEM. We participate in projects like this show to fulfill Gina Davis's mission of improving the portrayal of women in media. And lastly, for those in the Dallas, Texas area, you can find all of the ambassadors in the largest exhibit of female statues in one place at one time. And they're all incredible women in STEM.
Amazing. Paula, I think now is the perfect time to get into our DIY experiments. We are going to be making a global fidget toy. So I hope everybody has their ingredients ready. As a reminder, you will need balloons, flour, soap, water, and craft pom-poms, glitter, Orbeez, anything you want, and a funnel or a cut off top of a water bottle to use as a funnel. Let's get started. Okay, so I have my balloons here. Do we all have? Oh God. Okay, so, all right. Okay, so she said that you had to like open up the balloon and then like put the funnel in. Okay. I'm probably, knowing me, gonna spill the flour everywhere, so. Ooh, okay.
Hey, science is messy. It's okay if you spill it. Don't worry.
Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have gotten my nails done. I can't even grip the balloon.
And I'm going to give you a little tip. If the funnel is kind of hard to work with because sometimes flour doesn't flow so well, one little thing you can do is you can take an empty water bottle and you can put the flour into the empty bottle and then put your balloon over the top of the bottle and then just pour in the flour. So that's a little trick in case you have trouble with your funnel.
I got it. I got it. Woo, okay. I'm not gonna move on until everybody else is cool. Fancy. All right.
Nice work. All right, so while you're working on that, I will tell you why balloons are so fun for fidget toys. So balloons have this property called elasticity, which means that you can pull them apart as much as you want and they always return back to their place. So that's what makes them so fun, especially when you're playing with your hands, right? They stretch out and they come right back.
Amazing. Okay, are we all good?
I think everyone's ready to pour.
All right. I'm like shaking. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna put like a little bit. I'm a little bit at a time because I can always add more. All right, I'm just gonna use the chopstick to kind of get the flour in there. So yeah.
Nice work.
Okay. Here we go, it's going in. I'm just gonna shake it. I'm gonna shake it a little bit too. That helps a lot. Is it going? Okay, it's going.
It's going.
It's going. Okay.
And like you mentioned, Corinne, so you can fill it with flour if you want. You can fill it with water, put glitter in there. You can fill it with, honestly, you can even make it just with straight air. Just blow it up and then you can still squeeze them. So lots of different things that you can put inside your fidget toy.
Okay, I put a little more. I think I'm actually going to put some pom-poms in there because I'm always extra, so. Okay, I almost dropped that on my computer. I'm putting some fun colored pom-poms in there because I think it'll make the texture better. For me, I love fidget toys because I have ADHD, and when I try to focus, that goes. So I always have to be moving my hands or doing something. So Fidget has definitely helped me a lot with that. All right.
Perfect. Awesome. So while you're putting that in your balloon, because we're going to talk about a little bit of chemistry today, I'm going to start it from the beginning. So some of you may be familiar with chemistry. Some of you may have heard of chemistry and molecules, but aren't quite sure what they are. So let's start with the basics. Molecules are the building blocks that make up everything around us. They make up your computer, your table, your body. They're little invisible blocks that make up everything in the world. A chemist's job is basically to manipulate and play with these molecules and find new applications and new ways to use them. So when I mention molecules, now you have a good sense of what we're talking about, because we're going to talk about some molecules here in a bit. How's it coming? Or do we have filled balloons? Yes, no, yes, awesome. Okay, good stuff. So once your balloon is filled, go ahead and close it up. All right, we can't hear you, Corinne.
Oh no. Okay, my bad.
No worries.
Okay, I'm getting my mom to help me tie it off because my nails are too long. I'm actually gonna do 2 for the fun of it, because why not? I'm here and I'm gonna do 2. But I have my first one tied off, and it's already really fun to play
Nice.
with. Fun.
All right, so for extra fun, if you make multiple, you know you can get them to stick to each other, right?
I think I'm gonna make 2 so I can make them stick, because I feel like that's
Perfect.
okay. I'm like speeding it.
Paula, why do we use flour?
So flour is just kind of fun because it's compressible, which is the technical term for squishy. So that's all. It just squishes really nicely and it just feels fun.
I also know that if you add water to flour, it'll like make what people call oobleck, and it's like really fun to play with. But before I get on my other one, I'm actually going to cut off the top, this like part of the balloon, like that. Ooh. There we go. Awesome.
All right. You've got 2 balloons, Corinne. You ready to make them stick?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So for that, you need a little bit of water and soap.
I do have a bowl of water.
Perfect.
Okay.
And here's a little trick. You want the water to be warm. And the reason for that is that warm and hot molecules like to move really, really fast. And cold molecules move a lot slower. So if you're working with warm or hot water, those molecules are going to move fast. They're going to better dissolve the soap that you have in there. And there's just going to more efficiently and more quickly coat the outside of your balloon.
Okay, I was using cold water, like really cold water. So I'm gonna get some hot water right now. I have a question for you actually. Why are we using soap?
Why are we using soap? Okay, remember we talked about molecules? Soap is a really interesting molecule. It's a type of molecule called a surfactant. Okay, no, these are really fancy terms. What's cool about surfactants is that they have one side that is hydrophobic and one side that is hydrophilic. Okay, so when you hear hydrophobic, do you hear the word phobia in there, like for fear? Yes, so that side of the molecule is literally afraid of water, believe it or not. And then the hydrophilic side actually loves water. So what happens is when you coat your balloon with the soap, the surface of the balloon also hates water. And so let's imagine this is your surfactant, okay? And yes, I'm using a lollipop because it works. This is science. So imagine this side is the hydrophobic side, it doesn't like water. And this side is the hydrophilic side, it does like water. So hydrophobic molecules tend to attract to hydrophobic molecules. And so this side is the side that's going to attach to your balloon. And the hydrophilic side is going to stick out. So when you put the two balloons together, you're going to have, this is science with lollipops, guys. So you're going to have, this is basically what it's going to look like. You're going to have hydrophilic sides that are attracted to each other. And then when they hit each other, they kind of stick together through something called hydrogen bonding. So that's why soap, although it's counterintuitive, right? Because when you wash your hands with soap, it's like super slippery and like, you know, you don't think of it as being sticky, but in essence, that type of molecule actually can allow for hydrogen bonding, which makes it sticky.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
I was having so much trouble getting used to things, and what do we do with the hot water and the soap?
No worries. So you get a bowl and you just put some soap and hot water in it. And then Corinne's going to walk us through, basically, you're just going to put your balloons in the water and coat the outer surface of your balloon with that soap mixture. Like Corinne is doing right now.
Yes, exactly what I'm doing right now. I just put a few pumps of the soap inside. I'm actually probably gonna add more, a little more on top of the balloons. And then I'm gonna rub the soap all over the balloons and just put it in the water. Awesome sauce. Oh no, my ring. I'm just gonna leave them in there. And do we have to leave them in there for a little bit, right?
Just for a little bit. You probably only need like a couple minutes.
Have a dance party. Meanwhile.
Yeah, let's do it.
Should we take a look at a little behind the scenes clip while we're waiting for our soap to do its thing?
Perfect.
Cool. Let's do it.
I did a spin. A, B, C, A.
No!
All right. Scene one, take one. Mark. We'll take one, Mark.
You guys are looking out.
Two, take one, Mark. Two, take two, Mark. I did a spin. A, B, C, A.
No!
Yeah, see? We're almost done with the scavenger hunt. We're finally beating Blue Cabin this year. Blue Cabin always wins.
It's okay, guys. I can just put it back.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
so cute. I loved that. Behind the scenes are always my favorite. When I film, I'm like, where's the behind the scenes? Are we ready to take them out?
Let's do it. Let's take it out. And now here's the trick. You want to dry the balloon, but don't wipe the balloon because you don't want to wipe the soap off. So you got to carefully blot the balloon with your towels.
Okie dokie. I feel like the pressure is on. Don't want the soap off. Okay.
Yes, Gia, that's some good blotting action.
Okay. I have a question for you. Another one.
Yes.
Why do you think fidget toys are so big?
Well, I mean, I think it's just really fun to play with something in your hands, right? Like, I think kids are really into that. You said it yourself. You love them. I think once you start grabbing one of these things and it's just kind of fun and, there's no other way to describe it. It's just fun.
Okay.
Nice. Look at that. Are we sticking?
Oh my
Chemistry.
gosh.
Yes. How cool is chemistry?
That's so cool and fun. I love that. That's amazing.
Nice. Nice work. Okay. So if you want to step it up, the other thing you can use are Orbeez. Are you familiar with Orbeez?
Yeah.
So Orbeez are actually a polymer. And a polymer is just a fancy word for a super duper long molecule. And these particular polymers are hydrophilic. Wait a second. You know that word, right? Hydrophilic, water loving. And so when you put these beads in the water, they just soak up as much water as they possibly can. So let me show you what they look like when you first buy them. Okay, they're like these little itty bitty beads. Okay, and then when you soak them in water overnight, they get this big. So they grow to about 150 times their original size. And talk about squishy. They are so fun. So you can stick these guys into your balloons. Yes, for some extra fun in your fidget toys. Who knew you would love polymers this much?
I am probably going to make even more. These are so fun. I love these.
Nice.
They're so fun. I've been playing with them ever since they came out of the water. I like
Awesome.
the pom-poms in it. The one with the pom-poms. It's really fun. Let me see if I can get it to show.
So hi, everybody. Madeline here. We know a lot of you have some questions. So I'm going to invite Maggie Chifo from Amy Poehler Smart Girls back on to ask some of your questions.
Yeah, if everybody can leave their questions in the Q&A, that would be great, and I can answer them from there. Looks like we have a question for Corinne from Sarah. Sarah, if you could just go ahead and throw that question in the Q&A, we'll get it asked. We've got a question here from George while we're waiting for Sarah. Corinne and everybody else, what was your favorite part of doing this activity? And although, George, I'm not sure if you meant this activity or a favorite part of doing the show. So maybe we'll take both answers. Corinne, should we start with you?
Sure.
The show, okay. Well, I want to hear your answer too about this. So we'll hear that first and then to the cast, whoever you guys would like to answer around what your most fun part was.
Okay, so for me, I feel like my favorite part of this was definitely playing with them, of course. They're so fun and I love them. They're really fun.
Great. And for Jia or Malachai or Kiarra, what is another most fun part of the show that we didn't hear from you guys before?
I think another part that was really fun about working on the show was like getting to look at all the sets and like the artistic things behind the show. There's like these really cool like acrylic and they were like painted, all these little miniature sets you got to look at. And those were actually like things that became part of the green screen in the actual program. And like it was really cool how much work went into those, and there were some really talented artists.
Awesome.
I think my favorite part, other than of course like being on set and being able to work with these amazing people, was the fact that during lunch breaks or during whatever breaks, we were just like making TikTok videos or just like taking photos of each other. Like I have so many photos on my phone of us just hanging out and like being silly. And I think that was a really fun part about it.
Kiarra, you guys came up with some great names for I won't spoil alert, but for our shark episode. Do you remember any of them?
Yes, I remember. I have like a list of them still up. We have a lot of them. So
all right, you want to shout out a couple?
My favorite would have to been Tony Shark. Our amazing, very smart shark, Tony.
Malachai, did you remember one that you liked?
It was actually Tony Shark. Same thing.
Awesome. I think that was the winner. Okay, let's see. We got some more questions rolling in. This is from our friends in Fort Worth. How long did it take them to make the episodes? Well, we were on a speedy, I can take this answer on a very speedy timeline. So from development to our release yesterday, about 5 months. So pretty quick. Let's see. This one is from Ella Rose for Corinne. What was your favorite fidget that you've ever made?
My favorite fidget that I've ever made, I made a like puppet out of paper and cardboard, and that one's really fun.
Cool. What was the puppet of? Did you say it was a puppet that you made?
It's a poppet. It's kind of
poppet.
like poppy thing where you like.
Oh,
pop
cool.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll answer. There's how many episodes are coming and when is the next show? Okay, there's will be 10 episodes. So every Friday they'll be released at 9 a.m. and you can tune in on GoldieBlox's website or on their YouTube channel to watch the episodes. And on the website, you've got a bunch of fun activities and additional videos featuring the ambassadors, featuring different DIY projects and all sorts of fun stuff for you guys to tune in. And the first episode is live now, so you can watch that episode. And for all of those who've joined us here, we'll be also sharing with you the second episode after this event. I probably preemptively said that, but here we go. We got, let's see. This is from, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, Elizette. What is a polymer? Throw that over to Paula.
Thank you. So if you recall, we talked about molecules, which are like these tiny invisible building blocks to make up everything. Polymers are unique because they're super long molecules and they have like extra special properties to them. So that's why they have like a category of their own. They're not just a molecule. We call them polymers just because they're super duper long.
Awesome. Let's see. This is from Nisha for Jia. What is your favorite home science experiment to do?
I really like working with like these DIY like watercolor paints. So you kind of have to take like flowers and like other like dried like leaves from like your backyard, and then you like kind of dry them. So it's a bit of a process, but then you like cut them up and mix them with a special type of oil, and then you let them dry again, and it makes a whole watercolor paint palette you can use that's completely natural.
Cool. That's awesome. Paula, any science in there you can pull out and let us know about? Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'd have to learn a little more about that.
Understood. Maybe we'll follow up and do another DIY of Jia for everybody and do something like that and learn more about the science behind it. Okay, let's see. And for the record, I actually can't stop playing with these. They're so much fun. I think, unless we've got some more folks who'd like to type in a couple of questions here, I think we've got most of the Q&A answered. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm seeing some, maybe some additional questions here in the chat. Oh, Aaron, we'll pop in the chat here, the website where you can get the activities. So I think if somebody at the Institute could go ahead and do that, that would be great. It's the GoldieBlox website. Okay, yeah, I think that's it, you guys.
That's great. Well, I just wanted to thank everyone for spending their Saturday with us. And there's a few little homework things. So as Maggie mentioned, please, please, please tune into Camp Curiosity, Camp GoldieBlox on either the GoldieBlox YouTube or the GoldieBlox, website. And you get to watch the second episode. And we want to thank the amazing Corinne Joy, who's the ultimate MC. And please make sure you tune in to see her on Chicken Girls, and also check out her fabulous TikTok at It's Corinne Joy. And I just want to thank Paula. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, Kiarra, Jia, and Malachai. And of course, Deb Sterling, who we love. So we just want to thank you, everybody. And hopefully we will see you again. Have a great day. Bye.